Evening, folks. Right, I'm just going to do a basic build ideal list for the Newbie Woodworker, like us all really, but it's just I'm using some of the offcuts of wood I've got laying around me mess of a workshop. It was one of the builds I was going to do on the last one. You know, I said I was going to do two, but I ended up doing one because I was just waiting for something. Well, anyway, what I was waiting for didn't show up, but I'm just going to get on with it and do it anyway. So we'll just get into it. So I'm just putting a bit of thoughts how I want something, a feature on this to be. So I'm just going here, just writing it out. So I'm using 1x8 offcuts of pine I've got that's lying about. Normally this sort of like gets chopped up and put on the log burner, you know, to light the fire and stuff like that. But I'm going to start making small little basic builds of it. So something I've not done before is sort of like cut box joints properly. I've tried them and you know, I'm trying, and no doubt I'll get there, but I'm just going to try a different way. I seen a video of a guy on YouTube doing it on a table saw. So I'm just going to give it a go. I'm just going to make sure everything's nice and safe. I'm going to mark everything out here as best as I can. Now, like I said, it's the first time I've done it, so I'll just see how it goes. Now, it's an oversized sort of box joint, nothing special, and it's ideal. I think this would be ideal if you wanted just to start doing this kind of thing, just to get into the sort of vibe of all like box joints and dovetailing and all that kind of stuff, which at some point in the future I'm going to be wanting to do, especially with the hand tools and stuff. So I'm setting up here a stop block either side just to make my life a little bit easier, and I'm using a 24 tooth flat tooth blade here, flat grind I think you guys call it in the States. I think we call it flat tooth, whatever it is, you know exactly what I mean. And it's 24 tooth, and it's by a company called Saxon. It's not a Freud or out like that, but it does me, and it'll do most DIYers. We don't have to go out and spend 80-90 pound on blades just for what we're doing on a sort of like not so very often basis. This suffice, and I've been testing this blade out on various things, and it's been brilliant up to now. Is it the best? No, by a long shot, it's not the best, but it's, as you can see there, it's going through two bits of wood at once. Just doing a real easy job there of it. Just take your time doing this. Make sure your fingers are well out of the way. I'm always conscious of where my fingers are there, so don't think my fingers are going to go, because I am actually conscious of where my fingers are and moving them and stuff like that. But they're well away from it anyway. I think the camera angle makes it look nearer, but they are actually quite a way away from there. And that took a bit of time to do because I was taking my time with it, but that doesn't matter. It, you know, if I was trying it by chisels and hammers and all that, it would have took a lot longer and it wouldn't have been as a good result. But that is something like I want to master in the future. But for now, for this build, it's a build I just want to show people that, you know, should be making it really, using them scraps up, and it's a usable thing in the end. So I'm just ripping down now some more of this pine. I don't know what it is, but when doing these videos and I'm watching them back, everything looks bigger than it actually is. I mean, these bits of pine here are not as big as they look on the video. It's a strange old, I wouldn't say phenomenon, I wouldn't say anyway, but anyway, you know exactly what I mean. Push block making everything nice and easy to do there. So I'm just sort of winging the size here, just as I go. So you sort of like can guess what I'm making. I'm making a tool tote. But this is a real easy thing to do, but I just want to put a few bits on it. So I haven't got a forcing bit big enough for that. So what I end up doing is sanding the end of that pole down to the size that I want. So I'm just marking out where I'm going to put that. through. Do you know, I was looking for my Japanese square. I ended up picking my old one up. And I was looking everywhere, and then I found it was right in front of my face all along. So I'm just marking out here, again, the centre. You don't have to be super accurate with this. And, you know, if you're a new woodworker and you're starting out and you're doing these projects, push yourself. Just push yourself. If you think, oh, no, I can't do that, do what I do and just go for it. And if you make mistakes, you make mistakes, don't you? Just don't give two monkeys what other people think. Just do it. You know, just do it. It's the way you're going to learn. It's the way I learn. Obviously, I watch people on YouTube. I watch other makers all the time. I'm just going through here. This is a 35mm bit. Now, I think the pole was worked out around about 36 or 37mm. It was at like odd size, and it just needed. I didn't have the bit size. So I'm just going across here, measuring. And I'm just cutting through this for the size that I need. This was an old curtain pole. So I'm just gluing all the joints. If you can hear dog barking in the background, I do apologise. The postman must be at the door. Or, you know, Amazon man or something like that. So one thing I'm really happy about is how these joints went together with this. They went together really well. Considering it was my first time actually doing this as well, I was quite pleasantly surprised how well it went together. I know I'm overdoing it with the glue probably, but just give them a tap into place. And that's it, and that's solid. So I'll just glue it up overnight here and clamp it. I do add a bottom to it. So I'm just putting a bit of, for the handles, just a bit of a slope onto each side of the handle. I don't want to do a round over on the top. Everybody does the round overs. If you're wanting to learn and you're wanting to use them scraps up and them offcuts, these are the ideal things really, aren't they, if you think about it? Because in my workshop, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this, so you'll see it. You'll see me using it as well. I mean, I have got a tote, but because I've made this, it feels more sort of personal now to me, and I'm going to use it. So, bit of old tabletop there, I'm putting some plugs with. More for decoration than anything, when I do some screwing in a minute. I could have used pine plugs, but I just thought I'd, you know, try and jazz it up a little bit, make it look a bit sort of better. So I was going to cut them off there, make them flush, but I thought, you know what? They actually add to the look of it, so I left them. And here I'm just marking out to fit the bottom. So I'm going to drill through from the side. I think they call it, is it the shear force or something? Which is supposed to be stronger. I might be wrong there. Let me know in the comments if I am or I'm not, but it's from what I've been seeing. So I've got my little Japanese square. I love this. I don't know what it is. It just, you know, you get a tool and it's really tactile in the hands, and you just can't do without that tool. That's like it is really good. So I'm just going through nice and easy, and I do the bottom section of it. You don't see it on this, but I do pre-drill that as well because I don't want any splitting like I did on another project. So I have learnt my lesson. So a bit of jigsaw action here down the sides. I'm just taking it nice and slow. I should have clamped this. I am going to be doing a project very, very soon where I'm building extension onto me table I've got here. I've been racking my brains which way around to do it, and I'm going to have a vice and sort of stuff like that, and proper areas for clamping and stuff to make things a little bit safer. And it'll be a good video, I should imagine. I don't know what I'm doing. I ain't got a clue what I'm doing with it, but I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to show you like I always do. So give these a nice tapping. So just, you know, just the bottom screwed in there, and the mahogany plugs, because they contrast in colour, just add to a bit of jazzing it up a little bit. I'm just going in here now with a flush cutting saw. Take your time, saw away from you. You can put a card over there. You know, now here's where I needed advice, but I've got me sort of like little fence what I stop Stanley going out with here, so I'm just using that, just simply clamping this to that, if that makes sense. Getting all the old glue squeeze out off with my little scraper around the edges there where I can't get a sander in and stuff. And then I'm chamfering over the edges just to give them more of a, you know, take the sharp edges away, and just to give it an extra bit of sort of warm looking sort of type thing. And I do go over it and sand it as well, and you can just sand that. You can just run over it with a sander or a box plane. I think, is it called a box plane? Yeah, I think it's, if you get a box plane. I have got one of them, an old one somewhere. I'll have to dig it out, but that's a chamfering plane. I got sent by Newbie, that one I was just using. Now I'm just going over it with a sander, over everything with a 180 grit, just to neaten everything up as I'm going along, getting sort of glue marks off where I see them. And again, just this is where I'm fitting the handles now. I'm learning, I'm picking up things, you know, as I go on now. I'm noticing I'm getting better at certain things, and a lot of things I still need a lot of practice with. I just want to progress a little bit more first before I move on to some more in-depth builds. So I'm just going to put these on, and I'm just looking. This worked out. I thought the screws would be a little bit too long, to be perfectly honest with you there. I thought they'd blow through, but they actually didn't. I was waiting for some screws coming as well, and they didn't show up. Naughty Amazon man didn't show up when I paid Amazon Prime, and you know they don't send it on time. I don't know what it is, but when Shelley orders stuff, it's here next day. When I order stuff, it's like days and days. So as you see, I cut in there and I'm just gluing around it. I have sanded it off camera. I didn't take the footage, but all I did was just run a sander over round it to make it fit, and it fitted perfectly. And then I just put a little wedge in where you can see that slit, which I haven't got footage of that neither. And my apologies. Weren't the perfect thing, but it worked, and it's holding it well. I believe you can put a bit of steel in there as well, you know, as a wedge sort of thing. So we're just using some more of the scraps up to make some little compartments and movable boxes that sit inside. I thought, why not? Rather than sort of waste the wood, use it and make it useful. So I'm sort of pulsing that there because the wood's very thin. I've pre-drilled everything. And here I'm going to be making a little chisel holder for the side that just hangs off the side. Nothing special, nothing, you know, really basic. You can use a drill and a force and a bit for this, and, you know, a saw just to cut it. But I've got my drill press here. And even this, I didn't line the holes up sort of 100%. You can't see it on the video. You won't be able to notice it. But I'll let you know, you know, the holes are like not in a sort of 100% straight line. And I don't know why that was, because I think I was rushing. That's all I can put it down to. I marked everything out correctly, and you know, I punched it first, but you can't see there. But I don't know if you can see. And I'm just cutting in the slots here now. Now this is a bit where you sort of do it for your own sort of chisels, because they've got different handles and stuff like that, and I just wanted to make sure they could go in and out okay, but as you carry in the box they will not fall out. And this is what I'm doing here. I'm just spending a bit of time, I got it in and couldn't get it out, to be perfectly honest there. So I'm just sort of nipping it up and just modifying it little bits. And now I'm just testing it now, making sure that they don't fall out when you put them in. There we go. Just checking it, just testing it. Now, I'm not going to be going out and onto sites and stuff like that. I'm only using my stuff here, but you might want to do that if you're going to make this and take it out on sites and that. You might want to modify that by putting some over the front just to make sure your chisels, if you've got expensive chisels, don't fall out. Or maybe build it on the inside. You could have done that. I could have done that as well. So I'm just tidying everything up again here now with my belt sander. Just giving it a clean up. And here's Shelley. She's going to do me a little plaque with a laser to fit on it as well. She loves this laser. She's driving everybody mad with it. Everything's getting lasered in the house. You know, everything's got a name for it now. Trust me. I know what the decaf coffee is. I know what the normal coffee is. Honestly. So just again, just tidying everything up. What made this a really enjoyable build was the use of scraps, and I've learned so much again on this build. I've learned mistakes, I've learned things I've done right, but mainly my little failures and what I can put right on the next one. And that's what it's all about. It's about learning, isn't it? And I'm one of them people that can't be told. I've got to do it myself to sort of learn. So I'm just going over it with an hand sand. I'm not 100% happy with that handle. When I sanded it on the belt sander, it come out a bit wishy-washy, but it's fine. So as it's finished, you can see there I've used, you can see what I've done with the scraps of wood. Made two little drawer type things. Shelley's plaque on the end, and there's the chisels on the end. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Basic build. Great for a newbie sort of woodworker, this, and it's useful. I'm actually going to use that around my workshop. Is it as good as me other tote I've got? No, it's not. But do you know what? I made it, and I'm going to use it. It's as simple as that. I've left all the pencil marks inside for whoever gets it, my grandkids or whatever, maybe in the future, or my granddad. Look, there's his handwriting and stuff like that. They were left on there on purpose. But all on the outside, I've left it, you know, cleaned it up a bit. So there it is, all done. The little mahogany plugs. Them standing proud. I'm glad I didn't cut them off. Thank you for watching. Again, you're all absolutely amazing. And let's get on to the next video. And keep making, guys.